Hey yo, hey yo. Hello, hello. So check it out, right? What we gonna do is tonight, Thursday night hype, Thirsty Thursday, as we kick off another episode of Liquid Courage. I am your host with the mother loving mouse, Beethoven, the innovator. So check game though. So we're gonna do something new this evening, and I have a game I want to play. Now it's gonna seem awkward because it's just me, of course, as it has been thus far. But I have a game to play, and this is it right here. Go and find you one. And what we have here is I'm gonna crack me a brew, and as I pop the top, it's take a shot, drink up, give a drink up, take a shot. Now, since I'm playing by myself this evening, along with my viewers, such as yourselves, it will seem that I am being a serious social drinker as I am socializing with you guys via screen. You dig what I'm talking about? But here playing this game. So I'm introducing this game to those that do not know it. And I'm getting things together as you see. My beautiful ambiance, my environment for the set. But this is going to be mounted on the wall at some point, right? And that's going to be, something set for the future. So futuristically speaking, this is going to be one of the go-tos, and we will adapt and adjust to it as we go along. But as we continue, you're going to follow me through unwrapping it. Yay! It's like Christmas in April. Christmas in the spring. Why not? I'm just gonna toss this to the side here. And let's go ahead. Let's give it a go. Hopefully it's durable enough. This is gonna be like Plinko, whatever that Plunk It or whatever the game is on Price is Right. All right, I believe it's the Price is Right. So yeah, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. If I can get it in there. Wow, I can't even. Let me see. It says open here. I need to figure it out, right? Come on. Oh wow. Whoa. Well, that wasn't expected. I think I did it all wrong, as you see. That's crazy. I think it was the foil wrapped around the lid of the Modelo. It was a little compression there, so the cap didn't fall. Right, it didn't fall from the bottle into the game. I hope I didn't mess up my mixer and my laptop, but if everything shuts down, then I guess I did. All right. So, oh man, that was crazy. That was wild. But check it out. Let's see. So we're gonna drop it and see what happens, right? And it didn't really do much. It seems like it's more so for decoration than actual gameplay. I'm glad I found that out now. But yeah, so it dropped on drink up, so I guess I will. All right, now let's go ahead and dip off into it. You dig what I'm talking about? Hello. This is Liquid Courage officially kicking off the episode now. Beethoven, your host with the mother loving most. You heard it here before. How y'all doing out there? Another one like the other one and some more of it. Excuse me for a moment. Oh man, that was crazy. That was weird. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't know that was gonna happen. That was not done on purpose. But since the camera is rolling, we gonna continue to roll on. Wow, that was crazy. Now my face smell like beer. Uh, Shout out to Modelo though. You know what I mean? Especial. Yeah, dig what I'm talking about. Keeping it simple, keeping it tasty. You know what I mean? It's a very flavorful cerveza. Did I say it right? Did I say it right? Cerveza. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I like to believe that I am. I'm just pronunciating how I see it written down on the, where it's legible. I'm just going letter for letter, syllables and all, right? Enunciate is what I was taught. So I'm trying to figure out how that is said, but I don't know if I said it right or not. But anyway, let's continue. Let's move on. Let's kick it off here on Liquid Courage. So, technology. It seems these days that people are scared of everything, right? Phobia. So to have a phobia means that you are fearful of said things, whether it be arachnids, spiders and whatnot, whether it be homosexuals, right? Because you have homophobia, right? People are labeled to be scared of homosexual individuals. Now, I have, a couple of thoughts about that, and one of them being that, I have plenty of thoughts about that. One of them being there's no human phobia, or maybe there is. I don't know, but I think there's interesting that they labeled a disagreement as a fear. However, I'm not gonna dip all the way into that. I'm gonna reel it back in. You dig what I'm talking about? But yeah, so technophobia, right? People are afraid of technology. So technophobia is an extreme fear of technology. People with technophobia may fear the power of artificial intelligence. So AI is what, that is for AI, artificial intelligence, robots or computers. Technophobia is more than resistance to learning new technology. Rather, people with the condition may obsess over technology. Ooh, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? So, a phobia can also be an obsession. That's wild. I just learned something right now. Or they may go to great lengths to avoid incorporating technology into their lives. So that is the definition of technophobia. So I would assume that the phobia part of it is beyond fear. So phobia of something can be an obsession or a way to go about keeping things out of your life, right? To never incorporate it in your life by any means necessary. So technophobia, that was the definition of technophobia. So I'm kind of breaking down phobia itself, and it's kind of helping me understand the word phobia, right? Phobia. Phobia. BIA. Phobia for those that do not know how to spell phobia. It is not an F. All right. Is technophobia an illness? Technophobia is not a clinical diagnosis in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Still, as technology has expanded rapidly in recent years, some clinicians treat technophobia like a specific phobia. Specific phobias are irrational fears of a particular situation, object, animal, or interaction. The fear isn't in proportion to the actual danger. The fear isn't in proportion to the actual danger. Huh. Interesting. That's just an interesting play on words right there, if I do say so myself. I did, I will, I could, I have, it said. All right. Who might get technophobia? Anyone could feel afraid of or reluctant to use new technology, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to the interesting part, right? How common is technophobia? How common is the phobia of technology? Many people refuse to use technology as they age. One study found that the portion of older adults who use the internet includes 60%, 45%, 25%, 6%. 60%, 45%, 25%, 6%. So in that order, top to bottom, of adults ages 50 to 59, 60 to 64, 65 to 74, and 74 and older, right? So based on this particular study, this one study, they concluded that 6% of adults 74 and older use technology. Well, interesting, because there are a lot of people living to be 108, 102, 103, 110, right? So after 74, that's just not a kick the bucket age anymore, right? People are living a lot longer these days. So if you say, I don't know, 74 to 102, that's what, 28 years? So we're saying within a 28-year span, you only have 6% of adults these days using technology. Wow, zers. Zoinks. That's crazy, right? That's absolutely crazy. Well, maybe not, right? I mean, people get stuck in their ways. It happens. It's human nature. But I would like to think 6% seems kind of low. That's what I think. That's the thing. It seems kind of low. The fact that people 55 to 59 refuse to use technology, that's 60%. I feel that's higher. I feel that's higher than what it should be, right? Because think about it. People that's 55 to 59, I mean, look at social media. 55 to 59, there's a lot of OGs and double OGs utilizing technology these days, right? So I'm trying to figure out what avenue of technology are they talking about within the study that they studied. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which direction did they go in? Are we talking about cell phones here? Are we talking about social media? Are we talking about laptops? Are we talking about emails? Are we because technology is used? I don't know. This is definitely interesting. I'm in what manner? That's they don't really break down in this particular article what avenue of technology did they go down and really focus in on to study, because I mean, technology is all around us, right? It's hard to get away from technology. I mean, if you drive a Tesla and you own a TV in your house, that's technology, right? If you own an electric vehicle, EV of any kind, that's technology, right? If you utilize Waze or Google Maps, Apple Maps, or whatever you're doing to you, because people are not really reading like physical maps anymore, right? I mean, they may be, but not traditionally anymore. That's not the way. Like the Mandalorian, this is the way. Technology, this is the way. You know what I mean? So nobody's really utilizing paper maps. It's made out of cardboard or plastic. It doesn't matter. They're using their screen. So I'm trying to figure out 55 to 59. Where are these 55 to 59-year-olds at? And what planet are they on? The 60% is a lot of people. So that's like saying out of 100 people, 60 of them are they refuse to use technology. Now, now that I'm talking about it even more and saying it out loud, are they referring to people that's just saying, you know what, I don't really like to use it, I refuse to use it? Is that talk, or people actually refusing to use technology? Because that to me would be kind of tough. It would be kind of difficult to do. But I'll move on from that. I may come back to it. But so, what causes technophobia? There isn't a single cause of technophobia. Factors that can contribute to technophobia include bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. General anxiety about the future, mass hysteria about technology unknowns, such as the Y2K scare, media that portrays doomsday scenarios where technology goes wrong or overpowers humans. Well, that's entertainment. Don't get me wrong, a lot of ideas come from somewhere. Um, Sometimes ideas come directly from the truth, like events that actually have happened. Others come from possibilities, right? Ifs, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Mm, those are never for certain. So for those uh, to be causes, even though there isn't a single cause of technophobia, so that means it's open, right? There's nothing to really say, oh yeah, this is what causes that. And that's like that with anything, right? We get sick. Oh well, you could have, you know, somebody could have blew their nose on their hand and touched the doorknob, or dug in their butt, or picked their nose, or was digging in their teeth, or whatever the case. I don't know. Just transitioning bacteria from one place to another, right? Boom, boom, transporting it from one place to another. Not transitioning, I think that's the wrong word, but transporting bacteria from one place to another, right? So I guess there's always multiple ways, multiple causes of something, right? Cause and effect, right? There's always there could be many of actions to get a reaction, right? Many of actions to get one reaction. Someone with technophobia might feel preoccupied with thoughts of being forced to use technology. This is interesting. Symptoms of technophobia. They may avoid getting a new computer or phone. Now, these days and times, I do that because I feel it's a waste of money to go out every year and buy a new piece of technology, even though technology gets outdated now. Seems like in maybe 3 years, 4 years is probably way too old. But avoid getting new technical devices. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know. But avoiding getting new devices to utilize technology, I do that every time now. I don't know if it has something to do with getting older. I'm a little more wiser, more of a miser. I don't know, right? But I don't feel like, you know, I have a phobia of technology in any shape, form, or fashion. Excuse me. And by the way, we're gonna go back over the phobia part about it, right? So, what the phobia of technology is more than the resistance to learning new technology. Rather, people with the condition may obsess over technology, or they may go to great lengths to avoid incorporating technology into their lives. Right? So that's technophobia, all wrapped up and ready to serve and dish out. All right, so avoid getting a new computer or phone. Right? That's the I'm going through the symptoms. Criticize new technology or changes. That's human nature. Refuse to use computers, ATMs, or card readers. Resist upgrading a device's software. Well, I think a lot of us do a lot of this shit because it's nobody wants to pay more money, so we try to preserve what we have. So you know, this is a very general, very broad um, condition, if you will. It's kind of selective. It's very subjective. This condition. Um, Resist using any automatic processes such as automatic withdrawals to pay bills. That's just wanting to have control over what you do, how you do it, and when you do it. Sometimes people with specific phobias experience extreme physical anxiety symptoms. These signs may include breathlessness or shortness of breath, called being out of shape, dizziness, called staying hydrated, being dehydrated, actually, fainting, flushed skin or sweating, heart racing or heart palpitations, nausea and vomiting. And it sounds like anxiety, hyperventilating, the flu. I don't know. That's just. But yeah, so it's a trip that people are now being deemed to be, to being deemed to have a phobia of technology. When I don't know if it's really a phobia or are people just a little more cautious and a little more aware and kind of want to do things their own way. I'm definitely gonna have the link somewhere. I don't know, around the video. Up top, left, right, up, down. A, B, select, start. Y'all out there that know that code, you know that code. You know what to do. Contra, what's up? Nintendo World. But no, so I will put the link so you can, look up, read this here article. It's it's not really detailed too much. I'm not saying that people do not have a phobia of technology, but my point is, my take is, not my point. My take is that this can be. I mean, it's one of those things you could take it or leave it. Is technophobia like a real thing? The people that they studied, where were they at mentally at the time of the study? I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, I know people, who have, had their own take on technology before we've gotten to where we are at now with technology. So, again, it's subjective, it's selective, it's all those type of deals because it doesn't seem like any hardcore facts as to a diagnosis, the symptoms, the causes, even how common it is. Because I feel like the the people that's refusing to use technology, 6% of adults ages 74 and up. I feel like that's kind of low, or kind of high, actually, kind of high. Because that refuse, I think that's kind of high. Because I feel like refuse is meaning that they choose not to use it, and the 60% of adults ages 55 to 59 that's refusing to use it. One study found that the portion of older adults who use the internet includes. I'm sorry. Okay, so I've been saying it all wrong. My bad. Scratch all of that, right? Scratch all of that. So one study found that the portion of older adults who use the internet includes, right? So, okay, never mind. Numbers are fairly accurate in that regard, with the 60%, 45, 25, all the way down to 6%. The 60% being 55 to 59, and the 60% being a 74 and older. Now, I will say that 6% should be higher, right? It should be higher because I think that people 74 and above are using the internet a lot more than the 6. I think it's a lot more than the 6%. It may not be by much, maybe like a percent or two higher, but I think that's higher than that. And I think that and I think the rest of the numbers are pretty good. 65 to 74, 25% of those adults, 25% of adults 65 to 74 are using the internet. 60 to 64 is 45%, and 50 to 59, those ages are at 60%. For the most part, these numbers are pretty accurate. So I had it all wrong, people. Scratch that. I kind of went on a little tangent because I was like, hold on, what's going on? You know what I mean? Ain't even had that much beer. You know what I mean? It's spit. You dig what I'm talking about? But yeah, so I do still believe that this information about technophobia is a little bit off because of the causes and the symptoms. I mean, the symptoms are just crazy, right? The symptoms are just crazy. I think the symptoms are just people doing what they want to do, how they want to do it, and technology seems to be in their way and in making them do things that they don't want to do. So I guess that would cause people to have a phobia of some sort based on the definition of technophobia. However, I just think that the symptoms kind of make this information like take it or leave it, right? But so yeah, technophobia, that's like a thing, I guess. I'll leave it up to you to read. Check out the link wherever I put it. I don't know. It may be directly on the screen. I don't know. But check that out, and please comment, like, share, comment, subscribe, all those things. If not, make sure you subscribe. Visualize to Realize is the YouTube channel. Now, what we are going to do, we're going to have ourselves a shot. Yeah. So I don't really have much to bring to the table this evening, but I will continue to sip on this tasty De Leon tequila. And as you see, that is my A's shot cup. I got an Oakland shot cup back here. You see it. You see the dope era ESO hat. You know what I mean? My Warriors is playing tonight. Win, lose, or tie. I'm a rep it till I die. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch gears. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? High steering wheel, lean back, chilling, hat cocked ace deuce, and we gonna keep it pushing. So, parenting. I won't give up the names, dates, and show places. But recently I had a conversation and I was hearing about, it was being told to me and I engaged. That's how the conversations, happen. Of course, because it takes two to tango, right? Or several when it's a conversation, whatever. But I was talking with someone about a child having personal discrepancies with the way that their parent handles business. That's right. The child had a discrepancy, had like a personal vendetta, had an issue with the way the parent handles business. Now, from the information I received, I don't feel that the parent was incompetent. I don't even feel that the parent was still learning with this particular situation that I was hearing about. The parent was being a parent, and what some parents do not realize, and what a lot of kids do not realize, I've said it before, and I'll say it right now, and I'll say it tomorrow. Parenting is probably 80 to 90% dictatorship. And that's probably cutting it low. I say about 90% dictatorship. we are all still learning. So, for the most part, when time is put in, the more time that's put in, the more you take out, right? It's just like banking for the basics of the conversation. The more you put in, the more you can take out. The more you put in, the more you're able to take out, right? Kids, I understand kids can be very intelligent. Oh, 15, 16-year-old graduating from a 4-year university, and all this type of stuff. I get it, but that's book smarts. Books do not teach you how to live life. They don't, and I don't think they ever will. I can have a terrible life and graduate to having a glorious life, right? And just was down for so long, and now I'm up, all the way up. Nothing can stop me, and I can write a book about that. But my obstacles, my trials and tribulations, will not be experienced the same from the reader. So you really can't teach life exactly how yours went. And some of you might hear what I'm saying and say, "Oh, well, if that's the case, then maybe kids should just learn on their own." But they are learning while we're teaching. We have to prepare them to go to school. We have to prepare them how to be when they're at school. We have to prepare them how to be when they leave school. We have to prepare them how to be when they're in our presence. We have to prepare them to be when they're out of our presence. We have to prepare our kids for so much. If you let the kids just call the shots, they will never be prepared for anything. And that's factual. I just want, I would like some you know something showing me. Give me some statistics that show that a kid was born, right? Ugh, climbed out, came out the womb, whoop, popped out the vagina, boop, and was ready for whatever the world has to offer. Show me those stats. Show me those stats. I don't care how advanced a baby is. I don't care I don't care how advanced a toddler is, right? I don't care how advanced what comes after a toddler, right? Because after about like what, 4 or 5, they're no longer considered a toddler. So show me how advanced a kid is, right? Show me how advanced a preteen is. Show me how advanced a teenager is, a young adult, and so on, right? Show me how advanced they are, and show me how they advancement was able to be applied by them on their own, and then be able to be successful in life. Because you don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to be successful at life, right? Some people are making it just fine being the man behind the man, but not necessarily being the man. Being the woman behind the man, or the woman behind the woman, but not being the woman, right? You don't always have to be front and center to be relevant. You don't always have to be front and center to be it. You dig what I'm saying? To be successful. And a lot of kids, all kids, whether they fail or they succeed, some kids have great upbringings and fail. You know why? Because they think they know it. They think they have it all figured out, and they don't listen to none of the people that have already made the mistakes for them in their own way. Yeah, sometimes you still got to make your own mistakes. Sometimes we all make mistakes, right? But to continue to make the mistakes that you do not have to make is asinine. It's absolutely absurd. And so I just went on a little tangent. Let me reel that back in, right? But so with this story that I initially started talking about, the girl was talking about how somebody was giving her money and decided to give the money to her mother. And she just thought that was wrong and disrespectful. And her mom, how could she, knowing that was her money, take her money and bank it for her or do whatever she did? But the girl was talking about how the money was put up for her. What? You work no jobs, you pay no bills, you don't put gas in the car, you don't put groceries on the table. You probably don't, from this conversation, the information I got, I mean, the girl doesn't cook. Don't really do anything but go to school and go home, right? And sits on her tail. Her unappreciative tail, right? But complains about the fact that when people gift her things, her mother and her father just takes those things and puts them up for her. So right there, that just tells me that the parents are looking out for her best interest, because obviously you're not responsible enough to deal with these things right then and there. You can't stand front line and center and face the music because it's too much for you and you wouldn't know what to do. But yet she's complaining to another child and an adult about how, or another child in front of adults, of how her mom, like, every time she does that, it makes her mad and she just gets pissed off. And it's just ridiculous that her mom would do that. What? I'm very old school with the way I parent. I'm very old school with the way I deal with children. I don't go around beating on kids. I don't go around beating on my kids. That's not what I say. That's not what I mean when I say old school. I'm just talking about structure. Stick to it, and that's it. My favorite thing to tell children: I am not your equal because I am not. I'm not your friend because I'm not. We may have friendly interactions when we engage in, whether it's playing a video game or a game of cards or going out to a theme park or the park, or just having friendly banter in a respectful way, being that I'm an adult and you're a child, in a certain type of manner because I'm an adult and you're a child. That's friendly behavior. But we are not friends. It's a big difference. And I think all adults should address children in excuse me, I was gonna say said and such at the same time. They should address and approach and deal with children in such a manner as that. Never let your foot off the gas and always press that issue. We are not friends. I'm 41 years old. What do I look like being friends with a kid? Hell, I mean, I can't just sit there and be friends with somebody 25 years old and I'm 41. Yeah, they're grown, but that's still considered to be a kid to me. So I'm definitely not going to be friends with my kids. I'm 41. You 10. I'm 41. You're 9. I'm 41. You're 15. I'm 41. You're 11. I'm 41. You're 13. No, we're not friends. It's not my thing. I just can't sit there. But a friend of mine, or even an associate for that matter, a colleague for that matter, we can talk about things that are relevant to us. I don't have too much conversation to have with a child to sit there and be their friend. I mean, most children are immature. I mean, what kind of conversation am I gonna have with an immature being? I don't like having conversations with immature adults. So I'm definitely not about to have a conversation on that type of level with an immature child, as far as, friendly banter and whatnot in the regard in that regard, you know what I mean? Like we're on the same level. I can't do that. I deal with children as children, right? They're children. I treat them no more, no less than who and what they are. Your child. Some people say, yeah, well, children have a voice too. They do. Those that know how to use it, they do. Kids do have a voice. But there's a world for children and there's a realm for adults. And yes, they do coexist, but there's a divider. Children, adults. It's that simple. Period. That's what it is. Children, adults. It will always be a divider there. See, the problem is that people try to take the divider and they try to erase it. Well, you can't erase something that's it's not erasable, right? It's like trying to erase pen or a permanent marker, right? It's always there. Once it's always there. Once that line was drawn for a reason. Yeah, some of you may really go out there on a limb. Well, and back in such and such days, there were children that were kings, that were crowned to be kings and queens and all this type of stuff, and the head of an empire. Sure. Maybe so. Maybe that is the truth. But if it is, you ever take time to think about how immature those actions were? How ridiculous a lot of laws were when it comes to things like that? A child in leadership that's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all adults are mentally and emotionally equipped to rule. But a child should never be at the forefront giving orders. It just shouldn't happen. They should never be in a position to be equal to an adult that is in that position. Humans are not perfect, so we take a bad jab at it every once in a while ourselves as adults, and that's knowing, or at least thinking we know. A child does not know. Yeah, some children could just the blink of an eye, drop of a hat, they could tell. You could say, what's 135 divided by 17? They could tell you. But that does not mean that they are mature enough to handle life. Again, we're all still learning. So if I know more about life than a 16-year-old and I'm still learning with that age gap, I mean, think about it. I mean, what does a 16-year-old know about life? It's a child. So the moral of the story is, let kids be kids, and you adults out there, adult. Don't be scared of it. I feel good being grown. Yeah, I joke about it all the time, man. I do anything to, change these bills into a biology exam, a geometry test. I mean it. I I would love to do that, but I still love to. It's a contradicting statement, but I still love being an adult. It's fun being an adult. It really is. Just like being a child, right? It was fun being a kid, but as a kid, what did we always say? Oh, I cannot wait to be grown. I can't wait to be grown. Ooh, when I'm grown, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Most of us don't do any of the shit we say we're going to do when we become an adult. But hey, wishful thinking, right? But then you become an adult, and it's like, ooh, wish I was a kid again. It's just natural ways of thinking, natural behaviors as a human. Not really being satisfied, and it's okay. I think that part of it is okay, right? Because it's just one of those. It's a natural occurrence, right? You're a kid, you want to be an adult. You're an adult, you're like, I want to be a kid again, and it's okay. But I do truly love being an adult. And to all you adults out there, all you parents out there, especially, let your kid know it's okay to be a kid. And you're a lame adult if you're not allowing your child to be a child. Let your kid be a kid. Let them live a life as a child. As long as they are a child, let them be a child. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up like burritos, hairdos, and presents. You know what I'm talking about? This is another beautiful episode of Lick with Courage on a thirsty Thursday evening. Hello, hello, hello. I'm your host with the mother effing most, Beethoven, the innovator, and we are going to have ourselves a sip and relax. But before I go, like, share, subscribe. That's all you gotta do. Comment if you feel like it too. And remember, it's free to show love and support to me.